Greetings, fellow Americans. Welcome back into my home again. My name is John Albert DeMay Jr. I'm running for President of the United States in 2012. Tonight I'd like to speak to you about something near and dear to my heart, and especially since there's some news going on right now where Hillary Clinton is monkeying around with probably one of the most sacred one of our rights as Americans with the United Nations. I thought it would be appropriate to talk about right now to let folks know exactly what I think about the Second Amendment to the Constitution and what it means to me. Understand that when our founding fathers came up with this nation, they knew that at some time that the people would be called upon to defend the very document, the Constitution, that they formulated, the one that established this country. Now, here we got a nation where we've just come into existence, and of course everybody would be considered militiamen. That means any able-bodied human being would be called up to defend the nation if possible. But let me tell you one thing. The one thing that the Second Amendment to the Constitution does not have to do with is hunting ducks or bears or rabbits or skunks or, well, of course skunks. I mean, I guess you can use that term loosely. We've got a lot of skunks in Washington right now that need to be, well, I don't know. I guess we've got a vermin problem in Washington. But at any rate, the thing is that the Second Amendment of the Constitution was primarily thought of to do one thing and one thing only, and that was to prevent a tyrannical government from gaining a foothold in the United States of America. Folks, make no doubt about it right now. We are in the throes of a tyrannical government. Granted, it's a benign tyrannical government right now. We all accept it because it's a very, very kind form. It's insidious because it's not open and flagrant, but nevertheless, it is still a tyranny when one or two parties get complete control of our government and less than a few thousand people rule over 300 million people. But to show you about the Constitution and how, or at least the Second Amendment, has been misinterpreted when it really shouldn't have, because our founding fathers were quite adamant, and also they exactly knew what they were writing when they wrote the Constitution. Believe me, they argued over every letter, every punctuation mark, every phrase, every sentence, every paragraph. The Constitution wasn't written overnight. It took several years to be ratified, and that's because they were going back and forth between each other, deciding exactly what was going to go into it. But after the freedom of speech and religion came right after that, the freedom to bear and own arms. Now, I'm going to give you the exact reading of what that was in the Constitution, what the Second Amendment actually says. Now, there's several things in that amendment that you should pay attention to. Anybody that has a high school education should understand that what punctuation means and how sentences are structured and how to communicate in the written English. Now, we have a comma in this amendment, and we also have one word in there that means a whole world of meaning, but it is clear, crystal clear as a bell, what that word means, and that word is infringed. Now, for all of you that don't really have an understanding what infringed means, I encourage you to get out a dictionary and look at it. But what I want to do to you, I want to read what the Second Amendment to the Constitution is, word for word, written by our founding fathers, so you get an idea exactly what they were talking about when they wrote this. And keep in mind that we're not talking about duck hunting here. What we're talking about here is tyrannical governments and other things. So what I did is I wrote it down verbatim because I don't want to make any mistakes here. And unfortunately for me, nobody told me that when you hit around 50 years old that all of a sudden your eagle-eye vision, you lost it completely. So you have to use reading glasses. I'm not immune to that. Unfortunately, I don't have the contact lenses, so I look all pretty. So I'll put on this pair of ugly, cheap glasses that I have because I go through them like, dirty socks. But anyway, what it says is precisely these words. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. And here's where the comma comes in. Right after a free state. That means you pause. It says the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Okay, now listen, we have to understand something, folks. It says it shall not be infringed. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to look up the word not infringed. What does the word infringed mean? Now, according to the Merriam-Webster's dictionary, anybody can go out and get one. Of course, this is the Merriam-Webster's dictionary new edition, so I don't know how exactly new it is, but I can guarantee you it isn't from 1776. But thing is, you can all count on the word being precisely defined in this dictionary. But at any rate, infringed means not. Infringed means not to violate, not to transgress, not to trespass. So, we, being reasonable gun owners, and that's most of all of us that are law-abiding citizens that go to work every day to do everything we need to do to put, a roof over our family's head, food in their stomachs, and clothes on their backs. What we do is we think reasonably, and of course we don't want to see psychopaths running around getting guns, or murderers, or drug dealers, or people that are unsavory characters getting a hold of guns so they can blow our heads off. However, the thing is this: the Constitution doesn't mention anything, nothing, about people being crazy not being able to have arms. Nor does it mention what kind of arm you can have. It says you have a right to bear an arm. As a matter of fact, I could quite possibly go down the street carrying an A-bomb strapped onto my back if I wanted to. I could also be a serial murderer and be able to carry a gun. The Constitution is silent on that, and don't let anybody kid you. They're using the Constitution, and they being the people that want to tear the Constitution apart, every way that they want to use it